Hello everyone. In this session, we will learn undo data and indexes. Let's see objectives of this session. Managing undo. In this, we will see what is undo data, what is its purpose, segment management and obtaining undo information. Then managing indexes and its uses, maintaining and reorganizing indexes, monitoring the index usage. An undo segment is used to save the old value when a process changes data in the database. It stores the location of the data and the data as it existed before being modified. The header of an undo segment contains the transaction tables where information about the current transaction using the undo segment is stored. A serial transaction uses only one undo segment to store all of its undo data. Many concurrent transactions can write to one undo segment. Transaction rollback. When a transaction modifies a row in a table, the old image of the modified column is saved in the undo segment. If the transaction is rolled back, the Oracle server restores the original value by writing the values in the undo segment back to the row. Transaction recovery. If the instance fails while transactions are in progress, the Oracle server needs to undo any uncommitted changes when the database is opened again. This rollback is a part of transaction recovery. Recovery is possible only because changes made to the undo segment are also protected by the redo log files. Read consistency. While transactions are in progress, other users in the database should not see any uncommitted changes made by these transactions. In addition, a statement should not see any changes that were committed after the statement begins execution. The old values in the undo segment are also used to provide the reader a consistent image for the given statement. How undo segments or rollback segments are used. Whenever data is fetched from the data files to buffer cache for updation or deletion, then a copy of this is also placed in the rollback segment. If we done incorrect changes and we want to roll back, then Oracle will use image present in the rollback segment to undo the changes. Two methods for managing undo data exist. Automatic undo management. The Oracle server automatically manages the creation, allocation and tuning of an undo segment. Manual undo management. We manually manage the creation, allocation and tuning of the undo segments. System undo segments. System undo segment is created in the system table space when a database is created. This undo segment can be used only for changes made to the object in the system table space. The system undo segment exists and works the same in both manual and auto mode. Non-system undo segment. A database that has multiple table spaces needs at least one non-system undo segment for manual mode or one undo table space for auto mode. In manual mode, a non-system undo segment which is created by the database administrator can be used for changes made to objects in any system table space. There are two types of non-system undo segments. Private undo segments are segments that are bought online by an instance because they are listed in the parameter file. However, they can be bought online explicitly by issuing an alter rollback segment command. Public undo segments form a pool of undo segments available in the database. Public undo segments are normally used with the Oracle Parallel server to create a pool of undo segments that can be used by any of the Parallel server instance. Deferred undo segments. Deferred undo segments may be created when a table space is brought offline. They are used to roll back transactions when the table space is brought back online. They are dropped automatically when they are no longer needed. Because deferred undo segments are maintained by the Oracle server, no maintenance is required on our part. Oracle provides a fully automated mechanism referred to as automatic undo management for managing undo information and space. With automatic undo management, the database manages undo segments in an undo table space. Beginning with the release 11G, automatic undo management is the default mode for newly installed database. An auto-extending undo tablespace named undo TBS1 is automatically created when we create the database with Database Configuration Assistant. When the instance starts, the database automatically selects the first available undo tablespace. If no undo tablespace is available, the instance starts without an undo tablespace and stores undo records in the system tablespace. This is not recommended, and an alert message is written to the alert log file to warn that the system is running without an undo tablespace. The database can also run in manual mode. In this mode, undo space is managed through rollback segments and no undo tablespace is used. The following is the summary of the initialization parameter for undo segments. Undo underscore management. The undo underscore management parameter determines the undo mode of the database. The parameters can be set to one of two values, auto or manual, and must be set in the initialization file. If auto or null, enables automatic undo management. If manual, sets manual undo management mode. The default is auto. Undo underscore management cannot be changed dynamically after the database starts. Auto mode sets the database to perform undo management and requires an undo table space. In manual mode, the default value, we can create and manage undo segments when needed within the database as in previous versions of the Oracle servers. Next is undo underscore tablespace. It specifies the undo tablespace to be used, optional and valid only in automatic undo management mode. It specifies the name of an undo tablespace. It uses only when the database has multiple undo tablespaces and we want to direct the database instance to use a particular undo tablespace. This parameter can be set in the initialization file or altered dynamically using the alter system command. Alter system set undo underscore tablespace is equal to undo TBS. Automatic undo management requires an undo tablespace. More than one undo tablespace may exist in the database, but only one undo tablespace can be active. We can create the undo tablespace with the database by adding a clause to the create database statement. During database creation, if the undo underscore management parameter is set to auto and we omit the undo tablespace clause from the create database statement, then the Oracle server creates an undo tablespace with the name sys underscore undo TBS. The default data file for data file tablespace sys underscore undo TBS will have the name dbu1 then our Oracle SID.dbf located in $Oracle underscore home / DBS. The size is operating system dependent and auto extend is on. After database creation, we can create an undo tablespace using the create undo tablespace command. We can alter undo tablespace using alter tablespace command. The server provides support for the following clauses when altering an undo tablespace. Add data file. We can add data file to an undo tablespace. Rename. We can move its data file online or offline. We can take any data file offline of an undo tablespace. Begin backup. We can put undo tablespace into backup mode like any other tablespace. And backup. We can take out undo tablespace from the backup mode. Now we may switch from using one undo tablespace to another. Only one undo tablespace can be assigned to an instance at a time. More than one undo tablespace may exist within the instance, but only one can be active. Use the alter system command for dynamic switching between the undo tablespaces. When dropping an undo tablespace, it cannot be in use by an instance and all transactions within the tablespace must be complete. If tablespace undo TBS is the current active undo tablespace for the database and it is to be dropped, then a new undo tablespace must be set before dropping it. First create another undo tablespace if one does not already exist. Then use the alter system command to change the current undo tablespace. We can drop tablespace undo TBS after all transactions within the tablespace are complete. An undo segment with the status pending offline still contains active transactions. When no rows return from the query, then all the transactions are complete and the table space can be dropped. Drop table space, undo TBS. Automatic undo management, some other parameters. Undo underscore suppress underscore errors. This enables user to suppress errors while executing manual undo management mode operations, for example, alter rollback segment online in automatic undo management mode. Setting this parameter enables user to use the undo table space feature before all application programs and scripts are converted to automatic undo management mode. For example, if we have a tool that uses set transaction use rollback segment statement, we can add the statement alter session set undo suppress error is equal to true to the tool to suppress the Aura 30019 error. Undo retention. It determines how long to retain undo data to provide for consistent reads. Retaining undo data longer allows for longer queries and also requires larger data files for the undo table space. The undo retention parameter defined in seconds can be set in the initialization file or modified dynamically with the alter system command. Alter system set undo retention is equal to 900. The value of 900 retains undo data for 15 minutes. Even with the undo retention set, if the undo table space is sized too small, undo data is not retained for the time specified. The Oracle server uses an algorithm for allocating space within an undo table space and allocates unexpired space with no active transactions before causing a new transaction to fail. Sizing an undo table space requires 3 pieces of data. 2 can be obtained from the initialization file, undo retention and db block size. The third piece of the formula requires a query against the database. The number of undo blocks generated per second can be acquired from the $undo stack. The following formula calculates the total number of blocks generated and divides it by the amount of time monitored in seconds. Column end underscore time and begin underscore time or date are data types. Query is select sum of undo blocks divided by sum of end time minus begin time multiplied by 86400 from $undo stat. When date data types are subtracted, the result is in days. To convert days to second, we multiply by 86400, the number of seconds in a day. The result of the query returns the number of undo blocks per second. This value needs to be multiplied by the size of an undo block, which is same size as the data blocks defined in the db block size. For best result, the calculation should be made during the time of the day when the database has its heaviest load. Using resource plans, user can be grouped and limit placed on the amount of resources that can be used by the group. The amount of undo data generated by a group can be limited by setting a value for undo underscore pool. The default value is unlimited. When a group exceeds its limit, an error is received and no new transactions can be performed for the group until current transactions complete or abort. To guarantee the success of a long-running queries or Oracle flashback operations, we can enable retention guarantee. If retention guarantee is enabled, the specified minimum redo undo retention is guaranteed. The database never overwrites the unexpired undo data even if it means that transactions fail due to the lack of space in the undo table space. If retention guarantee is not enabled, the database can overwrite unexpired undo when space is low, thus lowering the undo retention for the system. This option is disabled by default. We enable retention guarantee by specifying the retention guarantee clause for the undo table space when we create it with either the create database or create undo table space statement. We can later specify this clause in an alter table space statement. We disable retention guarantee with the retention no guarantee clause. If undo table space is too small to accommodate all the active transactions that are using it, the following will happen. Oracle will issue an automatic table space warning alert when the undo table space is 85% full and a critical alert when it is 97% full. All DML statements will be disallowed and will receive an out-of-space error. DDL statements will continue to be allowed. We are doing rollback monitoring from the view v$session underscore longops. Next is managing indexes. An index is a tree structure that allows direct access to a row in the table. Indexes can be classified based on their logical design or on their physical implementation. The logical classification groups indexes from an application perspective, while the physical classification is derived from the way the indexes are stored. Single column and concatenated indexes. A single column index has only one column in the index key. For example, an index on the employee number column of an employee's table. A concatenated index, also known as composite index, is created on multiple columns in a table. Columns in a concatenated index do not need to be in the same order as the columns in the table, nor do they need to be adjacent. For example, an index on the department and job column of an employee table. The maximum number of columns in a composite key index is 32. However, the combined size of all the columns cannot exceed roughly one-third of the data block size. Unique and non-unique indexes. A unique index guarantees that no two rows of a table have the duplicate value in the column that defines the index. An index key in a unique index can point to only one row in the table. In a non-unique index, a single key can have multiple rows associated with it and can be used to enforce uniqueness. Function-based indexes. A function-based index is created when using functions or expressions that involve one or more columns in the table being indexed. A function-based index pre-computes the value of the function or expression and stores it in the index. Function-based indexes can be created as either a B-tree or a bitmap index. Domain indexes. A domain index is an application-specific index that is created, managed, and accessed by routines supplied by an index type. It is called a domain index because it indexes data in application-specific domains. Partitioned and non-partitioned indexes. Partition indexes are used for large tables to store index entries corresponding to an index in several segments. Partitioning allows an index to be spread across many table space, decreasing contention for index lookup and increasing manageability. An index partition can be created for each table partition. Although all the indexes uses the B-tree structure, the term B-tree index is usually associated with an index that stores a list of row IDs for each key. Structure of B-tree index. At the top of the index is the root, which contains entry that point to the next level in the index. At the next level are branch blocks, which in turn point to the blocks at the next level in the index. At the lowest level are the leaf nodes, which contains the index entries that point to the rows in the table. The leaf blocks are the double linked to facilitate scanning the index in an ascending as well as descending order of key values. Format of index leaf entries. An index entry is made up of the following component. An entry header which stores information, number of columns and locking information. Key column length value pair which define the size of the column in the key followed by the value for that column. Row ID of a row which contains the key value. Oracle server maintains all indexes when DML operations are carried out on the table. Here is an explanation of the effect of DML command on an index. Insert operation result in the insertion of an index entry in the appropriate block. Deleting a row results only in logical deletion of the index entry. The space used by the deleted row is not available for the new entries until all the entries in the blocks are deleted. Update to the key column result in a logical delete and an insert to the index. The PCT free setting has no effect on the index except at the time of creation. A new entry may be added to an index block even if it has less space than that specified by the PCT free. Bitmap indexes are more advantageous than B-tree indexes in certain situations. When a table has millions of rows and the key column have low cardinality, that is, there are very few distinct values for the column. For example, bitmap indexes may be preferable to the B-tree indexes for the gender and marital status column of a table containing passport records. When queries often use a combination of multiple where conditions or involving the OR operator. When there is read-only or low update activities on the key column. Structure. Bitmap index is also organized as B-tree, but the leaf node stores a bitmap for each key value instead of a list of row ID. Each bit in the bitmap corresponds to a possible row ID, and if the bit is set, it means that row with the corresponding row ID contains the key value. As shown in the diagram, the leaf node of a bitmap index contains the following. An entry header containing the number of columns and lock information, key value consisting of length and value pair for each key column, start row ID which in the example contains a file number 3, block number 10 and a row number 0, end row ID which in the example includes a block number 12 and a row number 8, a bitmap segment consisting of a string of bits. The bit is set when the corresponding row contains the key value and is unset when the row does not contain the key value. The Oracle server uses a patented compression technique to store bitmap segment. The start row ID is the row ID of the first row pointed to by the bitmap segment of the bitmap. That is, the first bit of the bitmap corresponds to that row ID. The second bit corresponds to the next row in the block, and the end row ID is pointer to the last row in the table. Using a bitmap index, the B-tree is used to locate the leaf nodes that contain bitmap segment for a given value of the key. Start row ID and the bitmap segment are used to locate the rows that contain the key value. When changes are made to the key column in the table, bitmap must be modified. This results in locking of the relevant bitmap segments. Because locks are required on the whole bitmap segment, a row that is covered by the bitmap cannot be updated by other transactions until the first transaction ends. Bitmap indexes are more compact than B-tree indexes when used with low cardinality column. Update to key column in a bitmap index are more expensive because bitmap uses bitmap segment level locking, whereas in B-tree index, locks are on entries corresponding to individual rows. Bitmap indexes can be used to perform operations such as bitmap boolean. The Oracle server can use two bitmap segments to perform a bitwise boolean and get a resulting bitmap. This allows efficient use of bitmaps in queries that uses the boolean predicate. In summary, B-tree indexes may be more suitable in OLTP environment for indexing dynamic tables, whereas bitmap indexes may be useful in data warehouse environments where complex queries are used on large static tables. Consider the following while creating an index. Index speed up the query performance and slows down DML operations. Always minimize the number of indexes needed on the volatile table. Place index in the separate table space, not in the table space that has rollback segment, temporary segment and table. There could be significant performance gain for large indexes by avoiding redo generation. Consider using the no logging clause for creating large indexes. Because index entries are smaller compared to the rows that they index and index blocks tend to have more entries per block. For this reason, init trans should generally be higher on indexes than on the corresponding table. Indexes and PCT free. The PCT free parameter for an index works differently from that of table. This parameter is used only during creation of the index to reserve space for an index entry that may need to be inserted into the same index block. Index entries are not updated. When a key column is updated, this involves a logical delete of the index entry and an insert. Use a low PCT free for indexes on columns that are monotonically increasing, such as system generated invoice number. In these cases, new index entries are always appended to the existing entries, and there is no need to insert a new entry between two existing index entries. Next is creating index. The index can be created either in the account of the user who owns the table or in a different account, although it is generally created in the same account as of the table. The given syntax creates an index on the employees table using the last name column. The following command will create a bitmap index. The initialization parameter create underscore bitmap underscore area underscore size determines the amount of space that will be used for storing bitmap segments in the memory. Default value is 8 MB. A larger value may lead to a faster index creation. If cardinality is very small, this value can be set to a small value. For example, if cardinality is only 2, then the value can be in order of kilobytes rather than megabytes. As a general rule, for a higher cardinality, more memory is needed for optimal performance. Some of the storage parameters and block utilization parameters can be modified by using the alter index command. The implication of changing the storage parameters for an index are the same as the implication of changing them for a table. A common use of this change is to increase the max extents for an index. Block utilization parameters may be changed to guarantee higher level of concurrency on an index block. It may be necessary to add extents to an index before a period of high insert activity on a table. Adding extents prevents dynamic extension of indexes and the resulting degradation in performance. Maximum deallocation of space from an index. Use the deallocate clause of the alter index command to release unused space above the high watermark in an index. Manual allocation and deallocation of a space for an index follow the same rules as that are used when using these commands against a table. Index space is deallocated when the table on which the index built is truncated. Truncating a table results in truncation of the associated index. Index rebuilds have the following features. A new index is built using an existing index as the data source. Sorts are not needed when an index is built using an existing index, resulting in better performance. An old index is deleted when the new index is built. During the rebuild, sufficient space is needed to accommodate both the old and the new index. The resulting index does not contain any deleted entries. Therefore, this index uses space more efficiently. Queries can continue to use the existing index while the new index is being built. Possible rebuild situations. The existing index needs to be moved to a different table space. This may be necessary if the index is in the same table space as of the table. An index contains many deleted entries. This is a typical problem with the sliding index, such as an index on the other number of an order table, whereas completed orders are deleted and the new orders with the higher numbers are added to the table. If a few old orders are outstanding, there may be several index leaf blocks, but all with a few deleted entries. An existing normal index needs to be converted into a reverse key index. This may be the case when migrating applications from an earlier release to the Oracle server. Building or rebuilding index can be a time-consuming task, especially if the table is very large. This offers a method of creating or recreating an index while allowing concurrent operations on the base table, but performing large DML operation during the procedure is not recommended. There are still DML logs, which means we cannot perform other DDL operation during an online index rebuild. Some restrictions. We cannot rebuild an index on a temporary table. We cannot rebuild an entire partition index. We must rebuild each partition or subpartition. We cannot also deallocate unused space. We cannot change the value of PCT-free parameter. Coalescing index. When we encounter index fragmentation, we can rebuild or coalesce the index. Before we perform either task, we should consider the cost and benefit of each option and choose the one that works best for our situation. Coalesce on an index is a block rebuild that is done online. In situation where we have B-tree index leaf block that can be freed up for reuse, we can merge those leaf blocks using the following SQL statement. Alter index, then index name, coalesce. This figure shows the effect of alter index on the index HR employee. Before performing the coalesce operation, the first two leaf blocks are 50% full. This means the index is fragmented and can be coalesced to completely filling the first block, reducing fragmentation. Analyze the index to perform the following. Check all the index blocks for block corruptions. Note that the command does not verify whether index entries correspond to data in the table. Populate the index stats view with the information about the index. Its syntax is analyze index, then index name, validate structure. After running this command, query index stats to obtain information about the index. Dropping the index. Indexes may need to be dropped in the following scenarios. An index that is no longer needed by applications can be removed. An index may be dropped prior to performing bulk loads, dropping an index prior to large data loads and recreating them after the load. It improves performance of the load, uses index space more efficiently. Indexes that are used only periodically do not need to be maintained unnecessarily, especially if they are based on volatile table. This is generally the case in an OLTP system. An index may be marked invalid when there is an instance failure during certain types of operations such as loading. The index is corrupt. Indexes that are required for constraint cannot be dropped. Therefore, the dependent constraint must be disabled or dropped first. Statistics about the usage of an index can be gathered and displayed in $object usage. If the information gathered indicates that an index is never used, the index can be dropped. In addition, eliminating unused indexes cut down on overhead that the Oracle server has to do for DML. Thus, performance is improved. Each time the monitoring usage clause is specified, $object_usage will be reset for the specified index. The previous information is cleared or reset and a new start time is recorded. Information about indexes can be obtained by querying the data dictionaries. DB_indexes provides information on the indexes. DB_IND_columns provides information on the column index. DB/IND expressions provide information on function-based index. And $object usage provides information on the usage of an index. That's all about undo data and indexes. Thank you.